Hey, hi, hello, and welcome. It has been a little while. I was gone for the 4th, but I am back, and I am so glad to see you guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan, and I do worship videos and some first impression gear reviews and things like that on here, as well as some other things. But those are the main two things that I spend my time doing here on this channel in the recent past. So I am so glad you found your way here. So today I'm doing something really exciting. I have my bass pedal board that I use at church all set up and ready to go in front of me, and my bass is behind me. So we're going to take a kind of first impression look at some of the pedals that I just picked up these past couple of weeks and put together into this little pedal board. So without further ado, I'm going to grab my bass behind me and we're going to take a look at some of the stuff that I've got going on in front of me. Alright, so the first thing I want to give you guys a heads up on is that my bass is not tuned to standard tuning. Because of the kind of music that we play and the keys that we play them in, I've actually got this tuned all the way down to drop C. So I have C, G, C, and F in order from the lowest string to the highest. So just giving a quick look at the pedals that I've got in front of me, I have my tuner, which is the D'Addario pedal tuner. I have my drive and my tone shaper, which is the Sansamp Bass Driver DI, the 3-channel version, because I have a couple of different presets on there. I like having the option to be able to switch on the fly. And then I have a Dunlop DVP4 volume pedal, which is really sweet because it's an awesome volume pedal and it's really low profile, because as you can see my pedal board's pretty small. And then I have an original TC Electronic Flashback, followed by a Boss RV6. And some of you might be looking at me like I'm crazy because I have delay and reverb on my bass, but it actually works out really well in a lot of cases when I'm serving at our second campus and we don't have as many instruments. So it allows for a little bit more variety in the sounds that I'm producing when I'm one of the only instruments on the stage. So it's pretty cool. And I'll show you guys kind of what I'm working with there. The other important thing I wanted to mention is the bass that I'm using is a Fender Modern Player Jaguar bass. So it's got the PJ configuration in it. And again, I am in drop C, so it's fun. So without further ado, I'm going to get myself tuned up, and then after that I will show you the main 3 sounds that I'm using this upcoming Sunday. Alrighty, so here's the bass completely unaffected. I have the P-bass pickup pretty much railed, the jazz bass pickup just a touch in the mix, and then the tone control just a touch rolled off. So now I'm going to turn on the bass driver and show you what I usually sound like when I'm playing. So, a little bit more present, a little bit bassier. This bass driver is probably my favorite purchase of this year so far, and I will probably do a little bit more in depth on it if you guys are interested in hearing my takes. I know that this particular pedal has been reviewed to Kingdom Come, but if you want to hear what I have to say about it or kind of what I've come up with on the tone side of things, let me know. So because I might do something a little bit more in depth on it a little later, I'm not going to go too much into detail on the bass driver. That's a video in and of itself, but it sounds great. It has 3 channels that are programmable, so you can actually save whatever your settings are, which is what I do. I only actually use 2 of these channels. I use the first one and the third one, and the middle one is kind of my experiment channel. I haven't really dialed in a third tone that I super like so far. I've got this standard one that I've got on channel 1 and then a drivier one on channel 3, but I'll spend more time on that later. Next in line is the Dunlop DVP4, which is a volume pedal. It's low profile. And the other cool thing about it is it's also an expression pedal. So you don't have to use it just necessarily as a volume pedal. You can also use it in other applications that would need kind of continuous motion as well, which is pretty neat. I don't use it that way. I just use it as a volume pedal, but it's cool function, and I might find myself using it that way in the future. It's also passive, which is nice, so I didn't have to use another notch in my daisy chain. Alright, and fourth in line is the flashback delay. I don't have the flashback 2, I just have the flashback 1, so it's the OG. But I really like this pedal a lot and the functionality that comes built into it. So right now what I'm using is the tape setting because I like the way it kind of degrades a little bit and makes it sound a little bit less sterile. And I'm only really ever using this in that kind of volume swell situation. So it's being used in tandem with the DVP4, the flashback, and then the Boss Reverb RV6. That being said, I haven't talked about the RV6 yet, but just the delay by itself, if I were to play that, sounds like that. So I've got quite a bit of feedback on it, so it decays really slowly, and because it's on the tape setting, it's also slowly kind of degrades the signal, and that in combination with the reverb that I'm using makes it sound really washy and cool, and I like that. So speak of washy and cool, I also have the Boss RV6, the successor to the RV5, which is like a legendary reverb pedal. This has all of that cool functionality built into it, plus a couple of other things as well. The main thing that I was focused on was the shimmer reverb because I'm putting this on a bass and I wanted to have that kind of octave up sound. I knew I was going to be doing volume swells and I knew that it sounded a little bit better having that kind of spread from the extra octave up. So that was my decision. So with that being said, the flashback and the RV6 are two great pedals that could have videos in and of themselves as well, so I'm not going to dive too far into it. I'm just going to talk about what settings I'm using for this upcoming Sunday, but for the future I may actually dive into them a little more because they each have a ton of functionality built into them. The RV6 has, 8 reverbs, and the flashback has, I don't know how many different presets built into it, plus the tone prints, so that you can actually download either presets from online or create your own if you want to do that. So it is a pedal with endless possibilities in it. But I'm going to stop talking and let you hear what the 4 of these pedals sound like together and kind of what I'm doing for the worship set this upcoming week. So here's the kind of volume swelly stuff I was talking about. And then just kind of normal bass tone. And here's my kind of drive ear sound. So yeah, these pedals are super fun. I am excited about how all of this has come together, and I cannot wait to hear what it all sounds like as a band on Sunday. So with all that said, thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for letting me be who I am, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Love you so much. Be well.